When it comes to nutrition, what you eat is only part of the story. The more important question is, what does your body actually absorb? This concept, known as bioavailability, is at the heart of modern nutritional science. It explains why a diet rich in superfoods might not deliver all the promised benefits if the nutrients remain trapped within plant cell walls or bound to compounds that hinder absorption. And this is precisely where cooking steps in, not as a destroyer of nutrients, as it's often unfairly cast, but as a powerful enhancer of bioavailability for certain key compounds. Heat in moderation can be the difference between eating nutrients and actually using them. At a molecular level, many of the most health-promoting substances in vegetables are locked inside complex cellular matrices, rigid networks made of cellulose, lignin, and pectin. These structures give plants their shape and strength, but they're also a natural barrier between you and the vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals inside. Raw foods offer tremendous value, particularly in preserving heat-sensitive compounds like vitamin C and certain enzymes, but they don't always surrender their nutrients easily. That's where cooking becomes less of a compromise and more of a catalyst. Consider carotenoids, the plant pigments responsible for the rich orange, red, and yellow hues in carrots, tomatoes, sweet potatoes, and squash. These fat-soluble compounds, which include beta-carotene, lutein, and lycopene, have been associated with reduced risk of chronic diseases, especially those involving oxidative stress, such as heart disease and certain cancers. But in raw form, carotenoids are often bound within rigid plant cells. Cooking helps rupture those cells, releasing the pigments and making them far more accessible for absorption, especially when consumed with a small amount of fat. This is why tomato paste or cooked carrots can sometimes provide more usable vitamin A precursors than their raw counterparts. The same principle applies to polyphenol, a large family of plant compounds known for their antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and even antimicrobial properties. Found in everything from kale and onions to eggplants and berries, polyphenol are not always easily absorbed in their native state. Thermal processing, steaming, roasting, sautéing can enhance the release and stability of certain polyphenol by breaking down barriers and altering molecular structures in a way that the human digestive system can more easily handle. For example, cooking eggplant can increase its nazeanin availability, a polyphenol that supports brain and cellular health. Minerals such as iron, calcium, and zinc can also become more bioavailable when cooking removes natural inhibitors. Many leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and legumes are rich in these minerals, but they also contain compounds like oxalates and phytates, which bind to minerals and reduce their absorption. When spinach is lightly cooked, for example, the oxalic acid content drops significantly, allowing more of its iron and calcium to be absorbed. In legumes and whole grains, cooking helps neutralize phytates, further freeing up their mineral content for your body to use. Cooking doesn't just improve the physical accessibility of nutrients, it also changes the chemistry of how we metabolize them. Certain plant-based compounds, once exposed to heat, transform into forms that are either easier to digest or more active in the body. For instance, heating garlic boosts the production of allicin's precursors, though too much heat can destroy them, so gentle cooking is key. Similarly, lightly steaming cruciferous vegetables like broccoli or Brussels sprouts preserves glucosinolates, which convert into cancer-protective compounds like sulforaphane when activated. Of course, not all nutrients benefit from heat. Vitamin C, folate, and some delicate B vitamins are water-soluble and sensitive to prolonged cooking, especially boiling. But losses can be minimized with quick cooking methods like steaming or sautéing, and even then, the trade-off can be worth it if bioavailability of other nutrients improves. The key is not to avoid heat entirely, but to harness it strategically, using it as a tool rather than fearing it as a threat. Ultimately, cooking is more than just flavor and texture. It's a form of nutritional unlocking. It takes what's hidden, bound, or trapped, and turns it into something your body can truly benefit from. So the next time you steam your carrots, roast your beets, or simmer your tomatoes into a sauce, know that you're not cooking the life out of your vegetables. You're bringing their nutritional value to life in a form your body understands. Bioavailability isn't just a technical term. It's the quiet, essential difference between food that fills you and food that feeds you.